it's Kim. It is July 22nd. It has been a little while since I filmed my last video, and there's been a lot going on. I've been doing a lot of starts lately. I think a lot of us have been, and I'm trying to think what my last finish was, and Brenda had put it very well that, you know, you kind of get in a groove with your project and then you finish it, and then to find the next project to get your groove in again is hard. And so I had to start a few projects to kind of make my way there. And so I think I have found that project, which I'll get to in a second. But let me show you a couple things. First, I kind of want to get to haul first. So let's kind of start there, just because whips are kind of the biggest part of this. So just recently, I had joined the Orange Coast Sampler Guild, and as part of joining that guild, Stacy Nash had put out a chart or a kit just for that guild. And I'm gonna try and pull this out here. And this is that kit. Isn't that cool? I'll show you the back. So I'm really looking forward to making this. So this is on 36 count, and I will admit I am not, 36 count is not usually my go-to fabric. I like a lot of coverage, and for whatever reason, doing 2 strands, I can't get it to look nice like others can. And 1 strand just doesn't, I think, at least for my taste, have enough coverage. But I will stitch this on the called for fabric. And she kits it up beautifully with all the threads here. And then it came in this wonderful little box that was wrapped in a pink ribbon. And each of the different elements come, they're like envelopes. So here's the strawberry envelope, and in it comes the stuff to make it. What else do we have? We have more thread. And just, I mean, she just packages it all up so nicely. Yeah, the finishing kits and so forth. And there's a waxer in here that she has, and what else? And some of the backing fabric. So, I mean, it's just an amazing kit. And I'm really looking forward to making it, even if it is on 36 count. So I'm really gonna enjoy putting this together. It's so awesome. I just, look at that pin roll. Isn't that cool? Or needle roll? Oh, just love it. Love it. So I got that. And then Kitten Stitcher, and it was in her newsletter really quick, and then it sold out really quick. And I just happened to be on my email when her newsletter came out, and she had talked about a club that you don't have to join, and there are going to be random designers and kits involved as part of this club that you don't have to join. And so the first one was La Di Da, and I think it was created for a group called the Kindred Spirits of the Thread, I believe. And so she made this as the kit for it, and I thought it was really, really cute. Includes the pin and all the things. Cool, right? And I think Teresa Kitten Stitcher is gonna have the designer of La Di Da make more of these kits, and we'll have more of them available. So if you're still looking for these, I think you can still get one. Just go to Kitten Stitcher's site. The other thing I got, so Christy, I asked her to make me one of these bags, and she did. I love it. I can't sew myself, so I really admire those that can, and I just love how this bag turned out. So that's that, and I can show you the inside fabric too. All right, and so the rest of what I have to show, oh well, actually I'll show you what another bag that I got that has one of the whips in it. And this one came from the Vintage Owl Lady. Now this is the oddest shaped project bag ever, but when I saw it, I loved it. And I'm trying to cut back on my project bag purchases because I have a lot, so Joyce, don't laugh. So this is a very odd shaped bag, but I loved it. Look at that. Isn't that super cool? I thought that was super cool, but look how long it is. So let me show this. So this in comparison, so this is like just a standard page size, right? Look at how long it is. Maybe I should go back here. Isn't that great? Look at how, this is fantastic though. I love it. This is the back fabric, and it came with a cute little zipper pull, and look at the inside fabric. It matches this guy almost exactly. Cool, huh? Yeah, love it. Love it. And I just love I love the longness of it too. So it's fantastic. I would actually prefer bigger bags than smaller bags anyway. So this works out. All right, so let me show you now what is in the bag. So this is called Leo Rising, and from Long Dong Sampler. I don't know what it is about these lions. They just call to me, and I think Heartstring Samplery has another one too with the lions on it, and I also have that one, so my plan is to stitch both, but obviously this is the, no pun intended, the long pole in the tent. So I decided to work on this first, and it just so happened that I actually, and it wasn't for this, and I don't know what it was for, so I ordered a skein of, or a hank, I should say, of silk from Silks For You. And, it's just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I just love the color. And when I saw this pattern and then was looking for a thread color, I'm like, well, that's perfect. So this is the thread I'm using for Leo's Rising. So this is from Silks For You. And I've just kind of been watching their site. They've primarily moved off of Etsy onto their own site. And I think they're out of silks now, believe it or not, with obviously the pandemic and supplies and all the things. So they're actually out of silk right now. But that's what I'm using for this sampler. And this is just antique white fabric for this. This is 40 count, and I don't know, it's turning out a little bit lighter than I was hoping, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll work. So this is just the bottom part of it. And it's actually stitching up pretty quick. It's just obviously with one color, you can't beat that. It goes really fast. So that's that. All right. So that's that project. I haven't stitched on this in about a month. Again, I was hoping that this was going to be, my groove project, something I could kind of get into, and I really didn't. I mean, it's nice in that it was kind of brainless, and the fact that it was just all one color, but yeah, it didn't happen. I'll get back to it, but it's just not right now. So the next thing that I started, Sassy Jacks had come out with, I think it's called AEH Saxon Band Sampler. And what Kim did was she divided the sampler into 12 parts and then released them almost on a monthly basis. I think it was over the course of a year and a half. And the way she delivered it was in a newsletter. There are passwords in the newsletter, and you had to put the file in, click on the link in the newsletter, put in the password, and then put it in your cart, and it would come up. It wouldn't cost you anything, but you had to put it in your cart and act like you're purchasing something. So I went through all the newsletters, which are all on the Sassy Jacks website, and clicked on the links and put in the passwords and put them all in my cart, downloaded them all. And I tell you all this because I think in September, she is going to remove all those files and consolidate them all and to put them into a chart, which then stitchers will have to then pay for. So right now it's free in the 12 sections if you go into the newsletters on her site. And unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the whole band sampler, and there are other stitchers who have stitched it. And of course, it's just amazing. And so I started it. Here, I'll show you what. So this is the start. And I don't know, it's coming off really bright to me. So the gold here, or the yellow, I actually took it was very bright yellow. And so I found a more muted yellow, if you will. And that still to me is very bright. And I'm actually stitching it on banding. So funny story about the banding. I got this a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago, from someone in the Netherlands. And when I saw the final section had come out and other stitchers finishing, I'm like, oh, I gotta start that. And I pulled this banding out, and I was looking at the sizing and all the instructions, and I was like, wait a second. This says that it's supposed to be 16 inches wide sampler banding, and mine's 8. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing it over 1. So I am stitching this over 1. It's fine. I think this is 28 count, so I'm just stitching that over 1. And I was gonna stitch it with 100/3 silk thread, but when I tried it, again, I didn't like the coverage. So actually I am doing it with just 1 strand of DMC, and I think it looks great. And I don't know if I'm just spoiled. I have been stitching a lot on hand-dyed fabrics and just not antique white, and it just looks very bright to me. I'm actually debating about dyeing this when I'm done, like coffee tea dyeing this when I'm done stitching the whole thing, just dunking it all, like being brave and dunking it all in. We'll see. So that's the length of it. And it's not gonna be this long. I don't know, it's probably like this. So that's how far I got a ways to go. So that's that. It's quick and it's fun, but again, didn't grab me. So then the next thing I started was, and I've always liked this piece, and once in a while I'll see it pop up again on, Stitch Mania, that someone has finished it, and I'm always jealous. I've had this pattern forever, and that's One Nation from Bygone Stitches. I have liked this for a long time. And it just, I finally thought, I'm just gonna stitch it now. And what I noticed, so I went and checked out the crescent colors for this, and it didn't have, the red had variegation, the white and the blue did not. And so I am using DMC for the white and blue, and the crescent colors for the red. And I don't know if you can see the variegation in this. So, I'm like, okay, I can spend the money on that variegation. I couldn't in the white and the blue. And this is Confederate Grey and 40 count. And this is how far I got. And, you know, the Old Weeks dye works fabric, so not the Zweigart base. It's just really, I don't know if flimsy is the word, but it's really soft and I don't know. It's a little harder to work with. It's not impossible, but at any rate, that's that. So I got that far and then that one didn't grab me. So that goes back in the bag. So should we look at what else I started? So then, let's see. Oh, so this is the funny one. Okay, so I pull up the picture here. Hopefully I can find it. So I am actually stitching this on like the 53/62 count Sycamore Seed fabric, which is this. And I've got a lot of it. And before I kind of splay that out for you, this is it. It's called Mary Griffith's 1873 GGR. I love those birds. I love this rooster. Or no, maybe it's a turkey. I don't know. I love it. Doesn't matter. So that's what it is. And so this is like a whole yard of fabric. So don't laugh. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Should I stand back? All right. Here we go. That's how big it is. All right. I haven't cut it. You could say I should, right? Okay. All right. Yeah. I hear all of you laughing right now. That's okay. All right. So actually I started this twice. So I converted all the colors to, so right now it's in DMC, but to stitch on like the 53/62 or whatever count this is, you have to stitch it in 100 slash, is that right? 100/3 or some other thinner fiber. So I had to convert it all to silks. And so I was at Stitchville, my LNS, going through, getting the DMC, going through the silks and doing that conversion. And this is an honest conversion, and to me, I wasn't happy with it. To me, the green was just too bright. I didn't like it. So I started that in one corner. Then and of course, so Stitchville is about 20 miles from me, and I'm all excited. Friday night, went there, you know, because that's what you do on a Friday night these days. You go to Stitchville, get your thread, and then, you know, you stitch all Friday night. Realizing at like midnight you're not happy with it. And so you're willing to drive 40 miles round trip to get one new color to try it again. And so that's a deeper green. And I think I like that one a lot better than, hang on. I think I like that one a lot better than this one. So this is the new one, and I think I like that one. So that's as far as I got. And then I put this one away. But I think I'm gonna use this more often. Because I can see it. You know, the smaller my pieces are, the more I can get up on my walls, right? Right. So we're just gonna do that. And obviously I can fit a ton of projects on this. So yes, eventually I will cut it. So what do you think? I can get 10 samplers on this? So, and don't worry, I will fold this later. I just won't take up your time to fold that now. All right, so then I worked on another project. And I don't know if I'd shown this to you before, so I'll show it to you again. So at the Midwest Cross Stitchers retreat last year, Brenda Gervais was our guest designer, and she had the little red house sampler. That's that. Cute, right? So I went through my stash, and this is linen Weeks Dye Works on 40 count. I actually wanted to do this on 46 count, but I didn't, the threads that I had to me were too thick for the 46 count fabric. So I just picked another fabric instead. And I think it was called New Jersey Cream, and that only comes in 46 maybe. Anyway, this is what I've done. Isn't it pretty? Gosh, now that I look at this, I should keep going. But yeah, I love this fabric. This Weeks Dye Works just linen. So, yeah, it's stitching up quick. All right, so that's that. Then, one of my unicorn charts actually came up. For sale, and I think it was on eBay maybe, and it was really reasonably priced, and I was just so happy to get it. And it's this one, the Romantic Mademoiselle. So couldn't believe it. I think it was, you know, a buy it now, and I of course bought it now. Love this. You know, I've seen McKenna stitch this and Emily stitch this and loved it. So another. And I think this is what has stopped me on this one. So I like to stitch on 40 count. And this is Murky. And what I didn't realize was that this was intended to be stitched on 32 count with 2 strands, or I suppose 36 with 2 strands if you wanted, because they're blending colors together. So 2 different DMC colors. And of course, I didn't look that far in the instructions before I started. And I am debating about whether I should start over on a 32 count to be able to blend those 2. And I can hear a lot of people now saying, oh, don't do that, just pick one or something. I don't know. I'm a rule follower. It's really hard for me to do something else. It really is. So this got put away. But anyway, this is how far I got. I'm sorry, the crease is like right where the eyes go. But this is how far I got. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. You'll have to tell me in the comments. Do I keep going, or do I say, nope, we're gonna go buy some 32 count fabric and we're gonna start over? Let me know. And then I'm not gonna, so this one, like this whole background is half stitch or 10 stitches. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna stitch this one. All right, so I started that. And again, didn't, you know, had to pause on it because of the count problem. All right, so then, okay, so then I think I'm finally on the, excuse me, the project that I am sticking with for a while. And you know, I don't know why. I don't know why this project, to be honest. I don't. But I'm in my groove, so I will just keep going with it. And that is Jane Fittos, 1835. And there is a Facebook stitch along group, and it's a year-long stitch along. It just started on July 4th, and I think if you get it done, you know, they'll put all the people with their project finished, they'll put them in a drawing for some prizes. So I have never, yeah, I think this is my first Hands Across the Sea sampler that I've ever stitched, or that I'm stitching. I have a lot of them, I've just never started any of them. This is the first one, and I'm not that it should be a surprise, it's really not, but I'm really enjoying stitching this. And this is how far I am. I don't know why everything is looking very yellow on my phone, but it is, so my apologies. It is not this, I don't know, it's not this yellow, I think, in the light. But this is 40 count straw, and I am using silks for this. And I've been enjoying this immensely. Can't put it down. So, yeah. Enjoying it. Now there are some people who are changing the letters, or I'm sorry, the initials to their initials. They're personalizing it to do that. And again, I'm a rule follower. If the pattern says to stitch something, I pretty much got to stitch it that way. And you know, there's some discussion in the group about, is it a true reproduction anymore if you change the letters? It becomes an adaptation, those types of things. But for me, it's just none of that. I don't know. I just want to put in the letters that, or the initials that were there. And there is some over 1 in this, so looking forward to that. But yeah, this is what I'm working on. So I've made really good progress. There's some turkey work in here. There's some specialty stitches in here. So, you know, it'll be a little anxiety provoking as I try those stitches for the first time, but I'm looking forward to that too. So, yeah. And I'm trying to think if I think at some point I want to work on other smaller projects. Obviously all the ones I showed you are a good size, medium, on the high side of medium to very big projects. And there's a part of me that just wants to do small. So I see Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche, you know, she wants to get through all of her whips. So the only thing she's allowing herself to start are things under like a 10 or very small, like 100 square. And it's just, I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to do that too. There's a couple Plum Street samplers that I want to do. So I'm thinking after I'm done with Jane, I might just take a break from the samplers a little bit, or just do smaller ones. I don't know, I think there's such a thing as smaller samplers. Just something less intense. But of course, in one of my bags right now, I have all kitted up, Consider the Lilies, and that's calling to me. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, the normal conflict that you all have. And I didn't share this, and sorry about that, but it's also part of my haul. I got a Sister Remembered. The Delaware Guild gave us an opportunity through Mary Wind Farms to get the, first release of this. Agnes Wardrop, circa 1826. And this is cooler than I thought it was. First, just look at that house. Now, it's not a red house, but it's still a pretty freaking cool house. I like that. And I like how it takes up, like, that whole thing. And then look at the border, right? And then these trees on the side, these are eyelet trees. And though I'm not sure I'm a fan of eyelets, it's pretty cool. But what else is so unique about this? So Melinda Cole, who reproduced this, it found some great history about this family, and it's almost a sad history. Just the kids, a lot of the children in the family have died at a young age, and it's just sad. But what's interesting about this sampler is this is almost, so the Agnes stitched this, and then it became her memorial sampler. So what she's saying is, see down here in black. So what symbolizes someone's death is when their initials are in black or they've died. And here it says, died in her 19th year, and it's in black. And what the history says is they think that one of her sisters, Helen, actually probably picked out whatever stitching was there and then stitched that in there. Her sister stitched that in there to say that Agnes had died. So this has actually become a memorial sampler, and that there was black ribbon all around this sampler. Isn't that cool? I think that's really cool. But inside, you know, there's more family history about the parents and the kids and ages they died and all the things. But I just think that's neat that most of the samplers, you know, we stitch are because the child stitched them, but then this ended up to be a memorial sampler to that child. So, awesome. History and stitching, I love it. So with all that kind of seriousness, one of the other charts that I've been looking at stitching here fairly shortly, and I just love it because it's so bright and it's cheery and it's happy, and that's this, the Unicorn Tapestry by the Tiny Modernist. Like, I am not a fantasy person, I'm not a unicorn person, and yet there's something about this chart that just speaks to me and all the happy things. And of course, I was trying to find a hand-dyed fabric that was this color. And I looked around and I didn't want to chance it that what I saw on the screen was actually what I was going to get. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy the called for fabric. So right now I'm almost, well, I can't say that. Really, I can't. After what I've all just shown you, I just can't say that anymore. I was going to say I almost exclusively stitch on 40 count, but obviously that's not true. So I did buy the 32 count, and it called for Riviera Aqua. And actually it called for 32 count, or I'm sorry, it called for 28 count, and I got the 32 count. Look how cool that is. Like, I don't know what other project, well, I guess you could stitch mermaid stuff on here or something. But, yeah. So I'm kind of itching to start this, but at the same time, I'm kind of hooked on Jane. So, I don't know. Too much to do. I don't know. So, what I do know, I'm going to keep going on Jane until I just can't keep going anymore. I will hit the specialty stitches, and I'm sure I'll be like, gotta put this on a timeout for a while. But like I said, I feel like I need to stitch something a little less intense. Something fun, playful. Maybe that's this. Maybe it's a Plum Street sampler. I don't know. But I feel like I need a little bit of a break from the intense ones for a little while. So we'll see. I'll start a few, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and come back to this, what I got going on here. So at any rate, I hope you are all doing well as we continue in our state of pandemic, and some places are shutting down again. I'm in the state of Minnesota, and the governor just required masks everywhere, which, you know, I am complete, whatever gets us to the end goal faster. I am all about it. And yeah, so at any rate, I hope you are all enjoying the stitching that you have, and continue to share in your Flosstube videos or on social media, just to share with the rest of the world so you can enable all of us. All right, take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.